President's so-called One Big Beautiful Bill passed out of the Senate yesterday, with Vice President J.D. Vance being called upon to cast the decisive tie-breaking vote.
The bill now heads back to the House, where lawmakers are hoping to get it to the president before his self-imposed July 4th deadline. Among the provisions in it are nearly $1 trillion in cuts to Medicaid and SNAP.
News 5's John Kosick has been following this, and John, the impact of those cuts is being interpreted much differently by both sides here.
Yeah, it's been that way, Mike and Tiffany, since the idea of them was first kicked around at the start of the year, and it remains that way today, now just days away from this plan being finalized. No congressional district in Ohio would be more impacted by cuts to Medicaid than Cuyahoga County's 11th. The Department of Energy and Commerce estimates that 38% of the population here relies on Medicaid.
The impact on my district, 40,000 people could lose their health care. This is going to be the largest cut to Medicaid and SNAP in our nation's history.
One of those in the 11th district relying on Medicaid is Adrian's son, who has a developmental disability. We first met her in February.
Him being without Medicaid is a real serious issue. I mean, it's a life. It's life altering.
She was comforted at the time by the assurances of Senator Bernie Moreno that Medicaid recipients like her son would not see their benefits cut.
Anybody watching this broadcast who does not need to worry about their benefits being cut. That is something we should not be doing, is scaring people unnecessarily.
4 months later, though, the House cuts to Medicaid remained in the Senate plan, with the Congressional Budget Office estimating close to 12 million people would lose their benefits. Still, Senator Moreno telling me as late as last week, benefits won't be cut.
Do you still believe that when it comes to Medicaid, the people who need it will not see their benefits cut?
Absolutely. You said it perfectly. If you're somebody who's a traditional Medicaid recipient, you will not see any change in benefits. What we're doing is getting rid of illegals from Medicaid, putting a work requirement on able-bodied adults, and getting rid of waste, fraud, and abuse.
I can't speak for Senator Moreno, but I suspect that $1 trillion cut is going to have an adverse impact on and some unintended consequences on people like our seniors, our veterans, our homeless population.
And people like Adrian, who reached out to me after the Senate vote Tuesday. While her son's direct Medicaid funds might not be cut, she's concerned about cuts to the programs he relies on and the people that staff them.
And so let's say his care manager, let's say they have 10 of them. I don't know how many they have. Let's say they reduce it to 6, and each person has to take a caseload of many more clients. And how many people can you pay attention to?
And another area of concern we're going to be watching is the impact on hospitals, rural ones especially, yes, but also here in Cleveland. We saw tremendous growth at the clinic, UH, and Metro since the 2013 expansion of Medicaid here in Ohio, and something Mike and Tiffany we're going to be watching closely.
Yeah, impacting so many people here. Thanks, John.